Cool. So with that, we got 99 to 98.
Is that what we're doing? I'm just kidding. That should be the
Which
beginning.
episode? Which episode was it? Sorry, I know I cut off the beginning.
God damn it!
Damn it! Which episode was it? I think it was Obituary. We were gonna do, and I thought it was a Alice in Chains Grooved and Removed or something.
I don't remember, but yeah, there was one where you had it wrong, and we just pivoted. I don't even remember. I don't even remember.
I remember it being.
We've done so many fucking episodes. I can't. I can remember. Oh, we did that band, but that's about as far as it goes.
I'm surprised that never happened again.
Yeah.
Knowing me,
we're pretty good with sticking to schedules. And,
we are.
Even when we alter our schedule a little bit and swap things around. But. Did we already start? We already started. Hold on one second.
I guess we have, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing
Cranked and Ranked! Nice.
I love hearing it, the echo trail off.
That's Ed Durst.
Ed Durst. I like that. Welcome to Cranked and Ranked, everybody. The show where we rank band discographies and artist discographies, but every once in a while we do our top 10 favorite albums of a particular year. And today's episode, we're going to be finishing out the 90s.
Yeah, this is the last 90s episode that we have to tick off.
The thing is, from my point of view, I'm constantly like, my musical journey never stops. Mm-hmm. And so not only do I discover things that maybe I didn't give enough time to before, or an album that I used to kind of like all of a sudden becomes one that I love. We could literally just start these years over from the first, and I bet you they will change somewhat for me.
Yeah. There'll be some mainstays, but for sure I can see stuff switching around.
Yeah, it's like, if we would do like 1984 again, Ride the Lightning's going to be number one. I'm referencing that because that's your shirt. But also, like, I have a couple new sounds, and I don't know necessarily. I kind of know when to use them, but they were just things that kept popping up that made me giggle, and I needed to have them on the soundboard. And they're both very short. They're both very short. You're going to know both of them. So first, we've got this one. Nice.
Is that Michael Rosen?
Whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah.
Nice. And then this was a favorite. Cheese.
James May.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know why I needed to have those on here, but they both make me laugh so much.
Well, whenever we're talking about like an 80s glam metal album and we want to
cheese.
yeah.
But literally the other one, like anytime, like, if you mention an album that I really like, I can just go nice. Anyway,
have you ever seen any of James May's YouTube channel?
Which one's James May?
The cheese guy.
No, I know nothing about him. I just know that, and it started popping up because I'd see people do different remixes of it with cheese, and then there's the one where it's like cheese times 1,000, cheese, which makes me laugh too. But I don't know. I'm assuming he's a guy that cooks food.
He was one of the trio from Top Gear, with Jeremy Clarkson and Richard Hammond.
What is Top Gear?
Do you remember when Top Gear came over to the US?
What is Top Gear?
You've never what? Huh?
Is it a car show?
Yeah, but like
that there right there tells you why I don't know what this is.
It very quickly became less about the cars and just the banter between the three guys, though. Like there's countless funny moments, compilations out there. But
so it was like a reality show about like an auto mechanic place or some shit.
Not even that. It was just like car reviews and stuff. But they would just fuck around and do like funny little challenges as well. But it's like an institution here. And then when that ended, they started a show called The Grand Tour, and basically it's kind of like how, you know how we always say that the rankings are secondary to the actual conversation and the tangents and the banter. That's how Cars works with Top Gear, especially during the trio of Richard Hammond, Jeremy Clarkson, and James May. But James May has his own YouTube channel now, and he did a video recently where he ranked every bottle of squash sold in the UK. But the funny part is, the entire time he just goes, I don't know if he fully knows how like ranking works, so he just says, oh, that's fantastic, that's going to go in first place, and he puts every single one in first place apart from Blueberry, which goes in second place.
Nice. I think I've heard the name Top Gear, but like that. There's so much, even from America. Like, if anybody ever comes to me and says, "Hey, do you remember that episode of Seinfeld where this happened?" I'm be like, "No, I didn't watch any episode of Seinfeld." So no reference. Like, there's no references from that I can get. Unless you want to say that one where like Kramer was funny. I'm like, I think I've seen clips of that. Was that when he was yelling the N-word at people on stage? That was
that was a yikes, wasn't it?
Anyway, but yeah, so there's so much television from, I'd say, starting at even halfway early to mid 90s.
Yeah.
Till very recently, I don't know much television at all. Yeah. The only reason I know television now a little more is because there's actually these great quality shows being made, so I find myself wanting to watch television more. But I was never watching TV, and so it's like I missed out on like tons of stuff that have these big references, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
I'm gonna go on TikTok and I'm gonna send you a compilation of Top Gear funny moments, because honestly, it's the Cars come second to the funny shit that they got up to, but there's something big that they would do is they would do these specials where they would pick horrible cars to travel through like the rainforest or travel through the desert and shit like that. But they did an America one where they went through the South and they spray painted some stuff on the side of the car, like "Man, love is okay," and stuff like that. And they pulled up at this petrol station and literally got run out of town, like by rednecks in a pickup.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy, but yeah. That's nothing compared to the Argentina one, though. The Argentina one is wild.
I think probably a lot of it comes down to like me not ever really enjoying reality television that much, because I think that's where the big gap is. Because like what's that show from here, Survivor? Yeah, massively popular, and nothing about that show was ever appealing to me. Like, why would I want to watch this? This looks fucking boring as fuck. All these people are assholes, and I don't want to even think about being on a fucking desert island or any of that shit. I'm just gonna sit in my AC and eat ice cream, and you guys
just protecting your peace, man.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's what my life is. Been most of my life. Anyway, 1998.
Yes,
I was 20 years old, a 20-year-old boy. I know I technically was an adult, but let's be fair. Men are not really adults until at least 30.
I was gonna say, I think back to me at like 20, and even from 20 to 25, there's a huge change there. Yeah,
it's weird thinking about this year, because I was going through, putting my ranking together. Which, funny enough, like things have swapped around like 3 or 4 times just today. But I really think that this was kind of like the end for me, because I've told you before, I went through like a whole period, late 90s, early 2000s, where like I still listened to music all the time, but I couldn't find anything that was exciting, and there was nothing that was like giving me the same feeling that I got like in the 90s. And I think 98, from what I can gather, was kind of the last year that something came out that I was like, oh shit. And then there was a good like 5, 6, 7 year gap where I was just like,
I'm sorry. It
where I
activates something in me.
He
now.
did the 6/7 thing, which I feel like we're now making references that nobody knows anymore because nobody says that anymore.
I'm doing my best to make it so uncool. It's dead and can never come back.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, there were years where like there was stuff I liked that came out, but like it was like really just like I felt desperate to like find cool music. Not realizing how truly spoiled we were in the 90s, but now I know. But anyway,
at least you had Limp Bizkit come along and
but even at the time, that wasn't that exciting to me. I liked some of what they were doing, and I liked what Korn were doing, but it was like at that point, like there was it's like the difference between comparing all of the albums that came out in 91 to all the albums that came out in 99. It's a very different conversation. Yeah. I have no problem whittling things down to a top 10 for 99. 91, top 50, maybe?
I was going to say, like, honestly,
so,
that is a stacked era for stuff that we're into.
Plus around 97, 98, that was when, like, I remember I think I've talked about this before, the moment where I was sitting at home watching MTV and they were like, here's a new song by this group that everybody loves, the Backstreet Boys. And I remember watching it and being like, didn't we already get rid of this shit in the late 80s? Like, why are we doing this again? And that's when I realized, oh, shit's about to get bad. Which is funny, because now I like the Backstreet Boys, and I don't care, that doesn't matter. But like, there definitely was a sign of like, oh, man, I'm not the MTV kid anymore. There are other kids now, and they want to see a group of white dudes singing. And I'm just like, cool, whatever, it's fine. But so the late 90s were strange. But for you, you were born. You were born this year.
Yes.
1998 is the best thing that came out in 1998. Came out of your mom's vagina.
Which is funny. Which is funny because I didn't. I came out the sunroof.
You were a C-section.
I was a C-section because I tried to go out feet first and nearly killed both of us. It was a labor of 36 hours.
Wow.
And they said if they hadn't taken me out when we did, neither of us would be here.
Wow.
Miracle.
You're a miracle.
I had a traumatic birth, and it's proof that I've been overthinking things since before I left the womb.
Yeah. Damn. Well, I mean, I think maybe that's proof that there is a God, because God knew that I needed you later in my life. So he was like, bring that kid out.
Station.
And then here we are, how many years later is it now? 20, what are you, 28?
28.
28, yeah. Man.
20 motherfucking 8. we started Cranked and Ranked when I was 22.
Wow, which means I was 42.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's how aging works, everybody.
Okay!
So,
and our guest today in the studio is the passage of time.
Yeah. If everybody just stops and you just wait 1 second and listen, that's time passing by.
Bruh.
Right now.
Totally.
Whatever I just said is in the past. That's in the past now. And that. And that. And that. The only thing in the future is... Because I haven't said it. Because I haven't said it yet. Anyway, okay. Our top 10 favorite albums of 1998. Once again,
Okay.
Not the best albums of 1998, our favorites of 1998, which means that that's where you guys come in, especially on the YouTube side of things. If you're listening to this as a podcast, you can email me at, what is my email address? oldheadpodcast@gmail.com. And you could send me your top 10 of the year if you ever really wanted to. And maybe I'll read it on a show. But for the YouTube people, put your top 10 favorite albums from 1998 in the comments. And maybe there'll be some overlap. This is going to be one of those weird things where there may be one or two albums where you and I overlap, but at least half of what I'm talking about, you probably have never heard.
Potentially.
And
there's something kind of beautiful in that.
And there are two things that you probably think are here that are not. So
okay.
Anyway, hold on.
Cool. I'm intrigued to find out what those are. I'm very excited for this.
Because it is 98, right? Oh, fuck, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's just get started. All right.
Cool.
And as usual, I give it over to Mr. Edward Julius Sparxx.
My middle name is a J name.
Yeah. Well, Julius is a cool middle name.
It is. Do you know what? I'm going to stick with that.
Edward Julius Sparxx.
Yes.
And he's going to tell us what his number 10 album from 1998 is.
Okay. This 10 spot can rotate. This is my ever-changing 10 spot with this year, and it took a lot of thought. But honestly, I've come to really enjoy albums, but thanks to you, by the way, that are generally considered a low point in a band's career, but I personally find very good. And mine is Diabolus in Musica by Slayer.
All right, that one did not make my top 10, but I do like this album.
I love this album because I remember for years and years and years I avoided it because I just saw online that it wasn't very good. And, you know, when you're a kid, when you're a dumb kid, you kind of follow the leader a little bit and you go, well, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to go for the classics. So I spent a lot of time with Rain and Blood, South of Heaven, Seasons in the Abyss, and then later the earlier albums. And then I branched out with Divine Intervention. And funnily enough, I heard God Hates Us All. So I was delighted to find out that this is basically all the cool slow parts from God Hates Us All.
Yeah.
But it's like a whole album of groovy Slayer.
Yeah.
And I came to realize that my favorite metal songs are the ones that groove. And
yeah. Plus, I think, especially because if I remember right, and Diabolus, a lot of it is Jeff Hammett songwriting, I believe. And is that Jeff Hammett? Did I say his name right?
You said Jeff Hammett. Jeff Hanneman.
Jeff Hanneman. I just put Kirk Hammett and Jeff Hanneman together in one person.
It's an alternate reality.
Yeah.
Jeff Hammett plays exactly the same way, but uses a wah pedal.
But the songwriting on it is really good. That's the thing, is that whether you want to give them some shit for possibly dabbling in a sound that was popular at the time that wasn't like their normal sound, I don't agree with that, but it's definitely not a problem when the songs are good and the album is good. I think the album's good.
I think Slayer just wrote Slayer songs during a climate where groove, nu metal, and alternative metal were very influential.
Yeah.
So to me, it just sounds like a band doing their take on something they thought was cool. This sounds like they heard Roots by Sepultura and went, oh, that sounds fucking cool. Let's do something similar to that.
Yeah.
But put the Slayer sauce on it. And honestly, I got to commend them as well for keeping it a crisp 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
In an era where people were maxing out the runtime of a CD up to 74 minutes. And I just think it's cool. I think it's a cool chapter. And it's a shame that, Kerry King has expressed regret about it.
Yeah, that's dumb, but whatever.
Me personally, I would just, embrace it and just be like, hey, that record is different and it's cool as a result of that. I do think it's not my favorite Slayer album,
No.
but it's one I really, really appreciate,
Yeah.
and I like when a band takes a risk, and this is an example of that. How, like, you know, Risk by Megadeth is in the top half of my Megadeth list, if
Yeah.
that's an indicator of anybody whose, you know, first episode this is. We have hot takes. We're some spicy meatballs over here on Crankdom Rank.
I guess so. They don't feel like hot takes to me. The world has decided that my takes are hot, and I'm like,
Yeah.
cool, whatever.
Yeah. All in all, I like groove metal. I like new metal. I like alt metal. I love thrash metal. Like, all of those things. But I love all of those, to be honest. Right? So putting them all together in a blender, that's a result I enjoy. So I don't want a band to make the same album every time. So
Yeah.
I'm glad this exists. So pretty much, that's my number 10. Diabolus in Musica.
Sweet.
By Slayer.
Once again, as usual, I brought my records, as I do on our top 10s. My number 10 is Words from the Exit Wound from
Nice.
Napalm Death. Oh, hold on.
That was one of my number 10.
Nice.
That was a potential for number 10 for me.
This one, because like when we did our ranking, if you watch the ranking, everybody knows that Diatribes is my favorite Napalm Death album. It's very close with other albums, but Diatribes happened, and then like there was a few years where like they still had some of that little bit of grooviness going on in there, but they did get faster at times, and this is just one of those albums where they were just kind of on fire. And honestly, I would go as far as to say that they've never stopped being on fire, because like every album is an exciting album for me from Napalm Death, and an album like this, I think, unfortunately gets kind of lost in the shuffle, because there are those albums that like were the standout albums, and I think once you get to like Smear Campaign or something like that a little bit later, people started taking more notice of Napalm Death again, not realizing that, like, you know, there's albums like this which
They
are
never
fantastic.
stopped being great.
No, they did not. And I love the whatever like effect is on this photo. It looks very 1998.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Everything's on fire is what it's called.
But not my favorite Napalm Death album cover. It's okay.
It's a victim of its era.
It is, for sure. But the album sounds way better than this. But it's Napalm Death. But it's like the era of Napalm Death where they're still fucking aggressive as fuck, but they throw in a little groove here and there, which is cool. I don't know. There's like that era where there were actual Napalm Death songs that had like a bouncy groove to them, and I'm like, that's only a few albums where you get a little of a bouncy groove.
Yeah.
But anyway, my number 10, Words from the Exit Wound, that one, Napalm Death.
Awesome. Staying in the extreme metal world, my number 9 is The Sound of Perseverance by Death.
Nice.
So, Death, to me, one of the most consistent, insanely fucking good extreme metal bands, especially in death metal. You know, I would say, if I had to say like my contenders for favorite death metal band, it's between Obituary and Death. I think Obituary has a slight edge for me over Death, but I mean, who am I kidding? Chuck Schuldiner and the people he surrounded himself with were fucking incredible musicians. And this isn't even my favorite Death album.
Yeah.
But it's just so well written, and there's a caveman edge to death metal, but there's also a sophistication to it here as well.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of melody, there's a lot of progressive elements, but there's just as many moments that make you just want to throw yourself through a fucking wall. And yeah, it's great. It's really, really, really good. I mean, people jork its peener all day. You know, I don't need to I don't need to fillet The Sound of Perseverance anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Death have better albums, but it's still an incredible work of like extreme metal.
Yeah, there are certain bands that like nobody needs to talk about them anymore. Like nobody needs to talk about Death anymore because literally everybody just says the same shit. There's no there's no interesting conversations about Death anymore.
Yeah,
they've all been had in the past.
They showed up, had one of the most awesome, consistent discographies in metal. Sadly, the frontman is no longer with us, but now we have this incredible run of albums that really, for the most part, showed a real evolution per album. And I thoroughly enjoy this release, and to be honest, all the Death's stuff.
I'm going to go on record and say that knowing what I know from other people's accounts of him after his death, if he had lived, he probably would have shot himself in the foot and ended his career. He would have done something awful because people that worked with him were all like, dude's amazing, kind of a dick. Which happens. There are like geniuses out there, and they are not the best people to hang around, but they are geniuses. Anyway, you done?
Yeah. I've wrapped up Sound of Perseverance.
Cool.
Now it's your. Oh, hang on. Push the button. Because you need your number.
Oh, fucking balls. Okay.
I'll have 2 number 9s, a number 9 large, a number 6 with extra dip, a number 7, 2 number 45s, 1 with cheese, and a large soap.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Everybody get that? So my number 9. This is actually like.
Dude, it's such a good thing I don't have access to the fucking button, because like as soon as you said my number 9, I was gonna push it again.
If only there was a way to share, but
Yeah.
Technology has not gone that far yet.
Nah, it's for the best. It would be chaos if I had control of that fucking thing.
This one's kind of like I feel like this is a personal. I mean, people like this, but this is like a personal shit for me. My number 9 is the first album from Jets to Brazil, which is called Orange Rhyming Dictionary.
Cool.
Jets to Brazil was the band that Blake Schwarzenbach from Jawbreaker started after Jawbreaker broke up. So I was a big Jawbreaker fan, so when this came out, I was all over it, of course, like a lot of people were. And the interesting thing about this band is that Jets to Brazil put out 3 albums, and then they broke up, and now like Blake's back with Jawbreaker, but they're not making new music. They just play shows every once in a while. But Blake's an amazing songwriter, especially an amazing lyricist, and it's all kind of on display on this album. But it's less punky and more indie rock on this, but it's an interesting album to try to explain because it goes from kind of quirky indie rock to utterly depressing confessional songs that like. If you're going through some shit and you find this album, it's not going to help. And at the time, like, in 1998, around the time this album came out, I was going through one of those long-winded breakups where I did not want a relationship to end, but clearly the other person did, and it was very drawn out and very depressing, and I was young, so I was having a hard time with it. But I related to like too many things on this album. But this album is just like it's just one of those things where like I listen to it and there's like at least half of the songs are songs that I listen to and I go, I wish that I could write something half as good as this, because just everything about it is just amazing. And unfortunately, like. The next 2 Jets to Brazil albums, I always make the comparison that the first Jets to Brazil album, Blake is still standing up, playing an electric guitar and singing. The next album, he's sitting at a piano and does not get up from the piano really. and it becomes music that like I liked what they were doing, but it did not have staying power with me at all. It was just like, okay, well, some people get older and want to get quieter. I wasn't that person. I got older and wanted to get louder. But this album is very important to me. It's one of those albums that I put on and I'm instantly like, I feel like I'm 20 and I feel like I'm depressed for no reason whatsoever. But at the time I was depressed for a reason. But also fun fact, this album was produced by Jay Robbins from Jawbox, who around this time had established himself as an amazing producer, and he still does that today. Which, funny enough, those two bands, Blake was in Jawbreaker, Jay was in Jawbox. Then those bands broke up. Blake started Jets to Brazil, Jay started Burning Airlines. And I'm just like, were you guys just like hanging out and like, hey, what are you calling yours? Cool, I'm going to stick with that theme. Let's do it. Anyway.
Wait, hang on. Wait, hold on. What was the other band called? Burning Airlines.
Burning Airlines.
I'm now realizing that the second Jets to Brazil album came out exactly to the day a year before 9/11.
Yeah. Well, that would make sense because... Yeah.
Jets, Burning Airlines, September 11th, 2000.
It's a conspiracy. But, yeah, anyway.
The government's feeding us lies, man.
the Jets to Brazil is one of those things that, like, the kind of people that normally follow me, like, talking about Jets to Brazil isn't going to go far. It's just there are those people that are on it because they're into Jawbreaker and stuff. But it's an important album for me. So that's my number 9. Number 9.
When you listen to, I couldn't help but notice, there's like a phenomenon, isn't there, of being comforted by music that can be depressing during a depressive time. Because, like, so many people in my life have been, I can remember, like, peers of mine in school, college, uni. It's like, why would you listen to a sad song if you were sad when you want to listen to something happy? And I think, no, because if I listen to something that's like party rock anthem, I'm going to feel left out. If I listen to Black by Pearl Jam, it's like someone fucking gets it.
Yeah, it's like feeling like you're not alone in your emotions, whereas listening to something happy, you do feel like you're alone in your emotions. You're like, oh, these people are out fucking partying. Yeah,
it's like being inconsolable in the middle of a nightclub.
It's like when I went through my biggest issue of my entire life with depression and anxiety, and I truly felt alone, the music that was popular was like, tonight we're gonna party tonight. Like, that was literally every fucking song, and I'm just like, fuck everybody. Like, that's what everybody wants to hear. Tonight I'm gonna party tonight or whatever. Yeah. It's not even a rock song either. It's always like, what was that fucking LMAFO or some shit? It was all... Yeah, I guess that's a little bit later. But, like, I just heard all these songs where, like, the pop songs were just like, going out tonight, everything's all right. I'm like, everything's not all right. Fuck you.
And you know what? Those songs do have their place, but therefore...
In the bin.
You're in... Yeah.
That was a little British there.
Yeah, it's working. He's assimilating. Mm-hmm. He's becoming part of the greater Borg of mankind. There's something to be said for, music having the ability to cheer you up. Like, for example, like, if I'm really fucking pissed off, I'll listen to God Hates Us All by Slayer, and I'll come away from it feeling like, okay, that was a catharsis. I can move on with my day. Yeah. If I'm pissed off and I hear fucking Agadoo, I want to punch the wall apart.
What does Agadoo?
If it is the catchiest, most annoying fucking British 80s song you could imagine. Oh, okay. I think it's British. And it's one of those, I don't know if it was a charity single or not. All I know is, as soon as I hear the first few notes, I can't escape it for like 2 weeks. Yeah. And like, the next 2 weeks, I don't want to have Agadoo in my head. Yeah. In fact, I'm sure I've pissed a lot of people off listening to this by bringing it up. So we're going to move past that. We're going to forget about Agadoo.
I don't even want to go listen to it, because if it's going to get in my head, then fuck that.
Oh, Yeah.
Nope.
'Cause,
Nope. Nope.
No one can deny it's catchy.
Move on.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. So my
8.
number 8. My number 8 is the self-titled album from System of a Down.
Was that 1998?
It was 1998.
I guess that got left out of my top 10.
Oh, damn, dude! I fully expected that to be in your top 10.
No, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, I don't think it would have barely been knocked out of my top 10 anyway. And so I had all those listed down. I just started knocking things out when I was like, nope, it can't go.
Yeah,
That's actually my favorite System of a Down album. So, see,
I mean, when it comes to this era of heavy music, was anyone like, everybody kind of still had their own spin on things.
Yeah.
I will say, like, nu metal to me feels like the last big genre of metal where everyone kind of had their own full spin on things.
At first.
Korn, at first, sure. But
Yeah.
Korn didn't sound like Limp Bizkit. System of a Down didn't sound like Slipknot, So in this like embryonic stage, this to me represents a time where everybody had a unifying groove,
sure.
but no one band sounded the same for the most part.
Yeah, there were plenty. Yeah, that's the thing is that and it wasn't even at first because some of these bands started in the mid 90s. But yeah, in the late 90s, you still had bands like Static X and Orgy who were like leaning into like the dancey electronic or whatever kind of thing. It honestly, I've said this many times, and I know people hate it when I say it probably, but it was when I heard Linkin Park that I knew shit was over, that I knew shit had gotten generic as fuck. And so, because that was when you started to see a lot of nu metal bands doing similar music. They all had rappers, they all had DJs, and everything was very similar. And but once again, I was like older. I always feel like if I was younger when Linkin Park came out, I would have probably been all over them. But that wasn't my thing.
Funnily enough, I've only really gone on to appreciate Linkin Park since having that like nu metal renaissance.
Yeah.
After we did our first nu metal episode when we did Limp Bizkit, before then I'd kind of written the genre off as like the beginning of the end for me, because it was like, it's what came along after grunge went away, and for a long time the trifecta for me of all that I cared about was thrash, glam, and grunge. Ironically, 3 genres that are all supposed to hate each other, but hey ho, I never listened to that kind of rules.
That's not our show. We embrace all of those.
Yeah. However, I did have my own hang-ups at the time about anything after 1994. So, but that was my own personal journey that I learned to.
But you weren't necessarily wrong though, because I do think that once nu metal reached that point that glam metal did in the late 80s, early 90s, where there was an oversaturation of bands, but not only that, a lot of them brought along this cringy machismo. And
at least with glam, it was offset by looking like a chick.
Sure, yeah. But even then, there was like there was like a chauvinist douche
definitely was
aspect to some of the hair metal stuff, but then there definitely was a ton of it with the nu metal stuff. Yeah. I almost feel like it was the pendulum swinging the opposite direction from grunge, where everything was like feelings and women's liberation and all this stuff, and then it swings the other way, and everyone's just like, no, it's all show us your tits.
Yeah, it's like your worst uncle in 1990, and then swinging back this way, and it's like, oh, okay, right, maybe we should be dealing with these issues. And then it swings back to the same uncle in 2003, and it's like he's got all this tap-out gear on.
And then in the early 2000s, the pendulum just fucking broke and snapped off, and it's not doing anything anymore.
I will say, like, I do have a nostalgia for the 2000s, because it was my childhood.
Sure, yeah, I understand that.
But there was a lot wrong with the 2000s, man. Like I like, especially with like what the media did to someone like Britney Spears for like not being completely anorexically thin. You know, I look back at
that
like
shit. That shit annoys me because she was thin.
Yeah,
she's
like
never not been thin.
Yeah, the beauty standards in the 2000s were out of fucking control. Yeah, that is the one thing.
It's still there now. It is still there now.
It has come back around. There was a time I can remember where, you know, thick was on the rise, and personally,
it's still but there's a certain kind of thick, yes.
Yeah,
but
definitely, yeah. We're two white guys on a podcast.
Yeah, we're not going to solve any fucking problems. I'm going to start doing like those what do they call them, the manosphere guys?
Yeah.
Where they all talk with their hands like this.
Yeah.
Women,
you need to hit yourself with a hammer.
You need to understand
really
that women are trying to steal your man juice. No. That's
you need to never come again unless it's not consensual.
If a woman has had sex with anybody, you cannot have sex with her. How does that make any sense? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing of all the dudes saying that, like, you got to find women that haven't had sex with anybody. I'm like, so you're not wanting any of the women to have sex. So all you dudes just having sex with each other then? And then eventually you find a woman?
Having sex
because you're supposed to be out there banging. Who are you banging?
Yeah. Yeah. Just, yeah.
Anyway. That's never.
Just put a condom dispenser in the tour bus and live your fucking life. Yeah.
Anyway, where are we? What are you talking about? System of a Down.
Yeah, yeah. Funnily enough, we did tackle some issues there, which, you know, they're a band known for that.
Apparently not. They get the same treatment as Rage Against the Machine. I wish they would stop being political. I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah. Never listen to the lyrics. You know, not the why do they always send the poor. You know.
Yeah, whatever.
But, yeah.
Idiots.
But, yeah, honestly, Sweet Pea, Sugar, Spiders, whole track list, really. Let's not lie to ourselves.
It's an amazing album.
And, again, it's only 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
And there's 13 tracks on this fucking thing, and it's no nonsense.
And it's got the same production style that Death Magnetic has, but nobody seems to mind when System of the Down did it, or when Slayer did it.
Yeah, it's cute when I do it.
Yeah.
I can just remember hearing this for the first time and getting to that bit in Sweet Pea.
Oh, yeah.
It's just fucking awesome. Yeah, and the whole album is this. I mean, you can tell they liked stuff like Bungle. You know,
sure.
There's an unhingedness to System of a Down that really. I mean, I think about the other nu metal bands. I think the only other band, and this is only early on, that had a similar unhinged Bungle-esque approach, was Slipknot. I think Slipknot and System of a Down had that, like...
Korn.
Korn, sure.
Korn had aspects that, like, no other band was doing shit like they were doing.
But weirdly enough, I don't know. I think... I'm not downplaying how different Korn is, but
it became their style and got more acceptable.
Yeah. I think it's because Korn were kind of the first to do the nu metal thing proper, I guess.
Yep.
I mean, to be fair, they do have their moments where they go absolutely off the rails. That's fair, actually.
Not as much anymore, obviously, but they've been doing it a very long time. But you put together, especially the first two albums, there's quite a lot of unhinged shit in it.
Yeah. Well, the fucking second album starts like this. You're that
That is like one of the best album openers ever.
Twist. I fucking love it. It's great stuff.
Yeah. See, and we don't get that kind of shit anymore. There are no bands doing weird... Well, there are bands doing weird shit, but they're not popular ones.
Yeah. What we need to do is a complete fucking overhaul where, like, legally for like a year, no pop artists are allowed to put anything out. They're allowed to tour, but they're not allowed to release anything. And we have to rely solely on weird bands.
Yeah. Or they're forced, the pop artists are forced to collaborate with non-pop artists.
Yeah.
Because, there was the album that Miley Cyrus did with the Flaming Lips, which was actually kind of interesting. And I feel like some of those pop artists are would be down for that. Some, not so much, but
I think you could probably talk Doja Cat into doing something like this.
Charlie XCX.
Yeah?
She seems down to do some weird shit sometimes.
Yeah, she definitely isn't following the rules.
Yeah.
I've definitely sensed she can do stuff that's a bit more edgy. But yeah, all in all, Sewed by Sewed is my 8.
I'm going to also have a debut album from a band that, just like Jets to Brazil, was a new band from a guy in an old band. My number 7 is Soulfly.
Cool.
From, I was about to say from 1998. Yeah, if this is what we're talking about.
He missed a golden opportunity to call it Sepultura.
Oh, jeez. So here's the thing, though. So I was 20. I was one of those people, because around this time, there were two big, kerfuffles. What the fuck you want to talk about? Upheavals in the metal world with frontmen, where you have Max leaves Sepultura. Sepultura continues without him. Chris Barnes leaves Cannibal Corpse. They get this new guy called Corpse Grinder. I was not happy about either one of those things. I was one of those people. I truly felt that Sepultura had gotten to a point where they were unfuckwithable and could have done anything they fucking wanted, and I would have fucking loved it. I still grew to love the Sepultura albums that happened after Roots, but it's like literally talking about, Max Sepultura is for me, completely unfuckwithable, and then the rest of the Sepultura stuff is varying levels of good. But when I heard the Soulfly album, I really enjoyed the Soulfly album, so I ended up in the Max camp of things, where I was like, all right, I like what he's doing, but the reason I really liked it, especially, and that brings me back to this first album, is that it feels kind of like a party. It's real. There's a lot of guests on it. There's varying styles. There's stuff that's seems like they're having a really good time. Other stuff that's a little more serious. I loved the fact that they were continuing with the groove kind of shit, because I think that Max and Sepultura at that point had done it better than most. So the first Soulfly album, I really like all the Soulfly albums. I kind of came and went with some of them, where some I liked more than others. But the first one has always stuck with me, just because it is just utterly enjoyable and really feels like a guy who loves making music, who is just kind of wanting to experiment and branch out and enjoy himself with musicians. And that's why Soulfly to me is great. Obviously, some of it is very new metal. Fuck Bleed. You've got fucking Fred Durst on Bleed.
And DJ Lethal.
And DJ Lethal, yeah. And not only that, produced by Ross Robinson, mixed by Andy Wallace. That is
God damn.
Jesus Christ. It's a good sounding album, obviously. I've always just really enjoyed this album, and I like the fact that, especially in the last Soulfly album, he's brought back some of the groovy elements. Because that's the cool thing about Soulfly. As much as even Soulfly doesn't touch original Sepultura for me. But what Soulfly has that I love is the fact that he started it off like this. So whenever he does an album that's technical metal or thrash, it feels like he can do whatever he wants. He's set it up for himself to where he can just go with his gut with all of the music he makes, and that's always he's continued doing that. So I very much admire Max for those things, and it all starts here with Soulfly. I just think it's a very cool '90s metal album that just feels like you got invited to a really cool jam session, you know.
Nice.
Anyway, yeah.
Nice.
I've realised that I've been doing the show and the sun is going down and I forgot to turn on my big light. Bear with.
Oh, turn on your big light, boom, ding, ding, 'cause it's gonna get dark there soon, over in Cornhole. He doesn't live in Cornhole.
What you can't see just out of shot, there is a big softbox light right there.
I was singing a song and like my brain went to call your town Cornhole.
Dude, I fuck it. It's renamed as Cornhole now.
Cornhole.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what are we on? 6, 7,
7.
6, 7.
Well, you'll be pleased to know that there is a connection here.
Skibbity toilet, everybody. Anyway.
Partying over here with Tralalero Tralala and Tung 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 Sahur. Anyway.
I don't know any of those references.
Yeah, you're better off. Anyway, like I was saying, there is a connection here because on the opening track of the Soulfly album, it features Dino Cazares and Burton C. Bell of the band Fear Factory. And my number 7 1998 album is Obsolete by Fear Factory. This fucking crushes.
It has that one song that goes...
Yeah.
You know.
Hell yeah.
That one.
Suffer through treasure. Yeah. There's so many moments on this album where it's industrial meets groove meets new metal in this is basically everything great and innovative about 1998 metal in a single album. You know, you've got Shock, Resurrection, Descent, Cars, and who doesn't get absolutely fucking turned to Edge Crusher? I'm sorry. Who
it's a good song.
Who isn't absolutely jumping when that song comes on?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this album. There's even some editions that have the Cars cover, which is a good bit of fun as well. But I mean, it's Fear Factory doing what they do best. You know, tight, rhythmic, machine-like, but still groovy.
Yeah.
Metal. And this is them not only off the heels of Demanufacture, which is a great album in itself of like the mid-90s industrial thing. I mean, that thing still feels relevant today, that album. That definitely feels like a big step in what would become modern metal, but at the time it's so fresh and new with lots of other like elements going on as well. But Obsolete just basically takes the heaviness of the previous album but grooves it up and makes it a bit more danceable. And that's something I love about this era, is that kind of the image I always have in my head, forgetting all of the terrible shit that went down, the crowd at Korn Woodstock 99 just fucking undulating.
Oh, yeah.
And there's not a phone in sight. You know, I'm not going to hit everybody with the phone bad thing. Everybody's entitled to enjoy shit however they like. But there is something about just thousands of people in the moment, in sync, just this ocean of heads just going up and down to this music. Like, what an energy.
Yep.
You know, obviously could have lived without the rivers of shit and people dying of heat exhaustion and getting sexually assaulted, but hey-ho.
Well, I mean,
A side effect of a terribly planned festival. Doesn't change the fact that some of the performances were fucking iconic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Fear Factory, obsolete. They're killing it here, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
I just want to see if I can do this real quick, just so you can get it. You can't see. That's Jess over there. I can't. The TV's in the way.
Damn it! Now we're gonna get age restricted.
She just passes out in my chair. Because I've started taking whatever dogs want to come hang with me can come hang with me during my shows. Especially now that I have a chair that all of them want to sit in. I'm talking about you. My number 7.
Number 7
is the album "How It Feels to Be Something On" by Sunny Day Real Estate. Ooh. Which at the time was their comeback album. But it's so funny when I think about it now, because like you're like, oh, they broke up and they got back together, but it was just a few years. It was a span of just a few years. But Sunny Day Real Estate have only done 4 albums, 2 originally when they were together, and then 2 when they got back together. And all of them are fantastic, and all of them are different from each other. This was a big deal because I was a big fan of Sunny Day Real Estate. And so when they got back together and this album came out, there was a lot of build up to it. And the thing that I remember about this was like hearing it for the first time. Immediately expectations were out the window because what they were doing didn't sound like where they had left off, which I think LP2 came out in like 96 or something like that, 95. And that was an album that was barely finished. Like they broke up recording stuff and then they cobbled together an album. So then they get back together with this, and this is post Foo Fighters, because as everybody knows, half the band joined Foo Fighters. And then only Nate, the bass player, stayed in Foo Fighters. But How It Feels to Be Something On is like probably one of the biggest examples I can think of, like maturing your sound and kind of moving away from what you're kind of known for, but still making these fantastic, like all of the songwriting at this point is insane. How amazing the song, it's still very impressive to me. Them coming back with this and people embracing it, which was cool because I feel like these days, somebody known, for like more of a, an emo type thing, and then they come back and this is not emo. I mean, I guess people could still give it the label of the emo thing, but it's not really. Just beautiful fucking songs, amazing performances. I really like this artwork. It's very simple, but I've always very much liked it.
It's eye-catching.
Yeah, it's eye-catching. And eventually, like one day, we should rank Sunny Day Real Estate, because I think that you would enjoy the different chapters of the band and what they sound like, because the album after this doesn't sound that much like this one. They still kind of retain their identity, which is like, that's insane to think about, when a band can actually shift to something a little bit different, but still kind of be unmistakably them. Yeah. And then the tour for How It Feels to Be Something On, I saw them in Austin, and I remember thinking it felt like a religious experience. Because musically speaking, I feel like the whole room felt like it was alive through like every fucking moment of the concert. And yeah. And so they've they're unfortunately, they're a band that like they didn't put out anything after their 4th album, and then they still play all the time. But there hasn't been any new music. There may have been a new song or something, I don't remember. But it's very strange. But as it stands now, they have a perfect discography for me, because like everything they've done is fantastic. And not only that, they were a huge catalyst of what we know as emo today, which some people will call second wave emo, but I call it first major wave of emo. because you can point to bands in the late 80s, but those bands didn't have massive success and crossover with other, people that weren't already into independent music. Anyway, so that's my number 7, How It Feels to Be Something On by Sunny Day Real Estate.
Awesome. Cool. We need to put them. Are they on the list?
I'm sure they are. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I've been meaning to branch out into that zone. I've been.
You'll be into it because it's the drumming is fantastic, but it's like the kind of stuff that they do, even though they would be lumped in with with emo. You're going to hear it more as early '90s alternative rock.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of 90s alternative rock, my number 6 is Yield by Pearl Jam.
Okay, nice.
So this one of their first 5 albums was the biggest grower for me. Because, there's this trajectory from 10 to Versus to Vitalogy where they get a little punkier each time. 10 for all intents and purposes is a stadium rock album. Versus tightens things a bit. They go from sounding like in a big reverb hole to guys playing in a room. And then they go from
guys playing in an amazing sounding room, but yes.
Guys playing in an amazing sounding room to guys playing in an amazingly small but good sounding room with Vitalogy. And then, you get No Code where they branch out completely.
Yeah.
They get a lot more influences going on. This one, for me, in that sequence of albums, was always... There's like a coziness to this album. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
Obviously there are some harder rocking moments, but this is one of my cold weather albums where when things start to get a little bit more crispy and frosty outside.
Yeah. This one has Given to Fly on it, right? That's on this one?
Given to Fly, Faithful, Wishlist, Brain of J.
Wishlist, yeah.
Yeah, Do the Evolution.
That's a banger. That's a banger, Do the Evolution.
Honestly, when I stop and think about this album, it's actually really, really, really good. And when I was thinking about the albums for this list and how albums actually have stayed with me over the years, I feel like I've massively underrated this album.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's really, really good. And... I think something's adding up here where I like albums during this time that manage to stay between 40 and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Because they don't outstay their welcome like some others do.
Yeah.
Where they just decided, we've got 74 minutes of runtime. We need to fill that rather than just let it happen organically and just, sometimes it did, sometimes it didn't, but hey-ho. This is a very good late 90s alternative rock album. I enjoy it greatly, and there's a coziness to it. And I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe it's the production, maybe it's the nature of certain songs. Wishlist in particular stands out. But it's just great songs.
Yeah. I feel like, I'll hear later Pearl Jam stuff, and I always go, this is good. And I feel like the worst thing that Pearl Jam ever did was make those first 3 albums. They set their bar beyond reachable, even for themselves.
But even so, every time I hear a Pearl Jam album in isolation, I'm just like, this is fucking great.
Yeah, it's great. It's just that they made this amazing music immediately. Yeah. And it's like any band that peaks at album number 1 popularity wise. And it's like, well, where do you go from there? And then I want to love more Pearl Jam than I do, but I hear a Pearl Jam song and I go, it's a cool song. I want to go listen to Vitalogy.
That is a thing with certain bands, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where they set a certain bar for you, and you always find yourself reaching for like one record. That's why I listen to music on shuffle so much nowadays. It's just because I like rediscovering things I'd kind of forgotten about. You know,
Yeah,
every now and again.
I've been taking
Yeah.
advantage of the radio station aspect of Apple Music, where it
Yeah.
just puts together stuff, and you can, like, as you go along, say, oh, I like this or I don't like this, because it will, like, when I'm driving around, that's what I listen to. But I've almost started using it as it reminds me of an album, and I go, ooh, I'm going to listen to this weekend, and like I end up listening to the whole album just because I hear one song from it.
It's kind of the curse of getting into so much music like we have, is you've only got a certain amount of time in the day
Yep.
to experience, you know, so many different flavors of the stuff, where, you know, I'll be the first to admit, I love collecting vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
My time I have in my current life to be able to do that is very scarce.
Yeah.
So I listen to a lot of music on shuffle just to stay satisfied, you know.
Yep. I mean, that's
Yeah.
I've said it before. That's why, like, I'm so crazy about my routine where on the weekends I listen to records, because I'm like, no. I have a lot of things that I want to listen to, and things that I've from the past that I want to listen to again. And then, you know, it's like, no, I've got things I got to do. And everyone else is all like, well, you know, when are you going to travel, or when are you going to go see this or do this? I'm like, no, I have my things that I'm supposed to do, and they're in my record room.
I I just got to say, anybody who has what I like to call correct answer mentality, stop telling me how to enjoy myself. I'm already enjoying myself.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, you know, it's like if I wanted to be a travel vlogger, I'd be doing that.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
I want to be listening to records and playing drums and shit. You know,
Well, it's like you know, somebody else loves traveling and going to see like as much of the world as they can possibly see. I like listening to as much music as I can possibly hear. At the end of the day, we're both dead.
yeah.
So
yeah.
congrats.
And also, one thing I will say, a cool thing for me when I got into Pearl Jam, like I got into 10, and I only listened to 10 for like the longest time. And then when I heard Versus, I thought it was good, but it was so different sonically that I actually ended up getting more into Mother Love Bone and Temple of the Dog and Green River before I moved on with Pearl Jam.
Yeah.
And once I learned to appreciate, you know, things being different, you know, when I evolved from being 14 to 15 is around when that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know. Why can't things stay the same? It's like, this thing already exists, dude.
Yeah.
Let this thing exist. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why. That's why I say, like, I know people are coming back around to it now, but that's why I'm saying, like, buy your favorite albums and have them in your collection, because that thing that you now own never changes. It's just like, this is it. You want it, it's there. You don't got to worry about where to find it. It's there, which I love. That's the kind of, that's why I get really crazy about when I want to collect a band's discography. I'm like, oh no, I need to figure out as soon as possible how to get all these things in my house. Because I want them. I want to listen to them. I want to know they're there. That's comforting to me. Anyway.
I'm getting more and more jealous of the old head video shelf every time I see it.
Oh, that, yeah?
Yeah. That thing is...
I don't have any more room.
Bullshit.
I don't. Like, if I want it to look at all any good, I can start stacking them, but that looks fucking awful.
Yeah. I get it.
I don't know.
Still, though.
I was telling my wife I want to convert my closet in my room into just a video shelf closet.
Yeah.
And she's down for the idea, but we have to actually like do it.
You have to turn it into like a mini Blockbuster.
That's what I would do, something like that. I would make it look kind of cool. So like if I shoot videos from the other angle, you'll see like the cool video room. I'll just take the door off and everything. But anyway.
Nice.
But that's like, but that's like my life. I don't go out and do anything. This is what I do.
Mm.
Anyway, that was your number 6, Yield
Yes.
from Pearl Jam.
It is indeed.
All right, this will be another one that you've not heard, and also another one that was produced by Jay Robbins from Jawbox. This is the album Frame and Canvas by Braid, who, once again, Braid are another band that get lumped in with emo, but I will not allow that. They played with emo bands. They came from scenes with emo bands. They have elements of that, I guess, but they're mostly post-hardcore. There's too much... this is one of those bands that has all the weird stops and starts, and the songwriting and like guitar work never goes in the way that you think that it's going to go. This album is just an absolute good time, while still being insanely quirky and really great musicianship. And it's always very hard, because there's like a certain type of band from that era. And if you went to go see Braid, you most likely were seeing them with some emo bands or other bands like that. But I've never been comfortable calling them emo because they are too connected to like Discord era DC music, which is none of that's, well, some of it's considered emo, but a lot of it is just post-hardcore type stuff.
Yeah. It's kind of like how I feel about people calling Saigon Kick a hair band.
Sure.
Saigon Kick are not a hair band, you know?
Yeah. But this album is great. Sounds great. It's just one of those albums that it's hard to explain, but it literally is an album that, like, because I am so limited in my vocabulary about music, that this is the kind of album that if I was trying to explain to you a part of a song, I would have to be like, I like that part where it goes, I like that one.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, look, I don't know what it is they're doing there, but they do a little stop, and then the guitar goes, but there's a lot of that. There's a lot of starts and stops and odd time signatures and cool little, sometimes the guitar's jangly, sometimes the guitar is kind of weird and discordant, but that's Braid. And there's a very, like, another nostalgic album for me when I listen to this. It's just of its time. What am I doing? How am I stacking things here? I'm stacking things like this. Sorry, I know nobody cares, but I have a system. Anyway,
he does have a system.
But yeah, that was my number 6, Braid, Frame, and Canvas.
Cool. Okay. So my number 5 is Jerry Cantrell, Boggy Depot.
Nice.
I knew this was going to be on here somewhere. This is the point where, kind of Lane's a bit of a recluse, and Jerry still very much wants to write and record and release songs.
Yeah.
And this is a pretty recent listen for me, for an album that has all the hallmarks of Eddie's gonna love this. It took me shockingly long to get around to it until someone one day just turned around and said, dude, it's just like bonus Alice in Chains.
I mean, it's got a little bit of Lane on there too. It
does. But, it is very much Jerry Cantrell really taking, there's a trajectory from Facelift where it's mostly Lane. Dirt, Jerry's coming in a little more.
Yeah.
Jar of Flies is a pretty even split. Again, on Tripod. So by the time this album comes out, it is a very... Is Lane on this somewhere?
I believe he does backing vocals. He may actually be on Cut You In, the song that was the single off of this.
Let me have a little look here.
I also think that other members of Alice in Chains are on this randomly. Sorry, guys. This is when there's dead air. Dead air.
A little research.
Boggy Depot. Let's see. Let me go to here.
Let's have a look here.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong. I think I'm wrong. This says Rex Brown plays bass on a couple songs. Mike Inez plays bass. Les Claypool plays bass. Angelo Moore plays horns from Fishbone. Sean Kinney plays drums. So, okay, never mind. Everybody's on here except for Lane. I guess I don't know why.
If Lane was on here anywhere, it would probably be an Alice in Chains album. I don't know.
I just feel I don't know why I remember hearing that he came in and just like briefly did some backing vocals like when they were hanging out one day or something. But I might be wrong.
Maybe there's something on Degradation Trip because it was recorded in 99 to 2000. Let me look it up.
I don't know. Who knows?
Let's have a look.
People are watching like, you should have done your goddamn research before this.
But that is one hell of a fucking lineup on an album, dude. Jerry Cantrell, Rob Trujillo, Mike Borden, Chris DeGarmo?
Oh, on Degradation Trip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
That is a fucking lineup right there.
Yeah, I like the Jerry Cantrell stuff. It hasn't clicked with me in a way that like I love it ever since it came out. Like I heard those albums when they came out and liked things about them, but I'm one of those people that like even today, you know, if they announce a new Alice in Chains album, I really am gonna be like, please give William Duvall more vocal duties. Like, please, like, Jerry's fine. He's a great guitar player. I never love anything he does vocally. It's always just, it's fine. It's cool. I like, you know, Jerry's cool, but I
think his vocals work great with another different guy to bounce off of, and they sound fantastic.
But I mean, very, very recently, I went back and listened to the Giraffe Tongue Orchestra album, which was like a super group thing with William Duvall, Brent Hines, rest in peace, from Mastodon, and then Home Dude from Dillinger Escape Plan. Anyway, amazing album, but that is, if you guys out there have not heard that, that is the definitive proof that William Duvall needs to be front and center on every Alice in Chains song. He needs to be the dude doing the heavy lifting. And so like that's why at this point they've done 3 albums now with that lineup, and it still seems like way too much Jerry. And so it's been hard for me to go, like, people will be like, have you heard the new Jerry Cantrell solo stuff? I'm all like, I heard a song, it was fine. Like, I can't get excited about that because, like, I'm still one of those people that, like, I want to hear Lane's voice or I want to hear William's voice. I want to hear Jerry's guitar, absolutely. But, yeah. So it's been one of those things where I haven't gotten to that point where I'm, like, totally into all the Jerry Cantrell solo stuff, although I do like a lot of Boggy Depot. But, yeah.
I will say, like, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say this. Jerry Cantrell is one of these people that really has kept me honestly alive and going. Like there's Jerry Cantrell, whether he be a vocalist or a guitar player, has been a constant in my life as soon as I heard about it. You know, especially the Alice in Chains stuff when it was Jerry and Lane. Like, those are some of the most unfuckwithable releases from any band ever, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you know,
agreed.
Facelift, Sap, Dirt, Jar of Flies, Tripod. Tripod took me a while to get into because it's so sonically different from the rest of them. But, you know, when you're coming at it retrospectively, as opposed to living it at the time, you don't have the context, I guess, of that changing tide.
I mean, even for me, Tripod being around when it came out and knowing about it and hearing it when it came out, it didn't click with me immediately. It took a long time, actually. I liked songs on it, but it took a while for me to really get into it.
Every single time I hear that album, it goes up a slot in my list. Yeah, like it's one of those.
It's amazing, but once again, it's an album that if I'm running low on time, Over Now doesn't get played. You know, like, it just, the album ends before that song because that's too long, and it's good, but it's, you know, anyway,
it's a stacked record.
I think they just announced like a vinyl reissue of the Unplugged album, which I haven't pre-ordered because I know it's going to be the kind of thing where there's like 20 different variants to choose from, and I'll just wait till it comes out and find whatever one I find. Anyway, are you done with Boggy Depot?
Yeah, Boggy Depot.
This one may be on your list as well. I don't know where, but my number 5 is Follow the Leader from Korn.
That's my number 4.
Hey, sweet. This album's amazing. I love it. Korn has gone from a band that I liked to I really liked to now I'd put them in one of my favorites because of just everything they've done. And then this album, not even in my top 3 Korn albums, but it's just it's fucking iconic at this point. So much great shit is on here, and I mean, I guess I don't really got to say much. I mean, "Freak on a Leash" and "Got the Life" is one of my favorite Korn songs. Period. But I remember when this one came out, and it was like hard to deny. Like, you know, they were all over MTV, but it was one of those things that, like, I may not have been like super into it at the time, but like once I started seeing the videos for "Freak on a Leash" and "Got the Life," I was just like, okay, this is really good. This is great shit.
Yeah. They're in their own lane.
Yeah, they really were. I mean, it's like, they still are. No band sounds like Korn. There are bands that have tried to sound like Korn, I've heard at times, but they don't really do it right. But Follow the Leader is like, at this point, it's like an iconic nu metal album where I think that it pretty much, that's where I feel like it tipped over to where nu metal became mainstream popular.
Yeah.
Because it was popular, like certain bands were popular prior to that, but I think that the success of Follow the Leader led to the success of Limp Bizkit and so on and so on and so on. But yeah, to me, it's just undeniable how great of an album Follow the Leader is, especially just how it sounds. It's just, plus, man, that's another thing. Like, I love Ray, the new drummer of Korn. I say new, but he's been there for a fucking while. But it's David Silvera. Is that the original guy's name?
Yeah.
I miss that guy's drumming so much. That guy, so much fucking personality in his drumming, and I miss it so much, dude. I have to say. But yeah. Anyway, Follow the Leader's great. Moving on to your number 4, which is Follow the Leader.
Yeah. This to me is the sound of a band like breaking big. You know, this is, we've got 2 albums under our belt. We know how to kick your ass, and we're going to do it for 70 minutes. Now, I know I've mentioned that I like shorter albums in this list.
Yeah.
But Korn, they just, like, to be fair, there is like a huge chunk at the end that's like spaced between a bonus track.
Yeah.
I think.
Yep.
Still pretty long, but I mean, good God, there's just like a 1, 2, 3 punch with "It's On," "Freak on a Leash," "Got the Life," and the rest of it continues to be a really good, enjoyable, All in the Family's got some poorly aged lyrics, but, you know, Fred Durst makes an appearance, which is fun.
Well, once again, it's one of those things where if you
context matters,
context and intent.
Yeah. Exactly. There are certain lyrics from certain songs that I will truly go, oh, I can't. That fucking gives me the. She's only 15. Sure, but then but then there's other things where I in context I go, yeah, it doesn't bother me because I kind of get what they're doing. But once again, I'm a straight cis white male. So me not being offended by something, who cares? Who the fuck cares? Yeah, it's the point where nu metal becomes a mainstream entity.
Yeah,
this album.
Yep.
If we're being dead ass right now.
Shit, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Are we dead ass? Yeah.
Does dead ass mean like totally?
Yeah. Dead ass.
Sometimes I try to learn like newer slang, but I end up just learning British slang. Apparently,
Well, dead ass is just a Gen Z thing, I guess.
Is there? Well, I'm talking to the wrong person, but I'm all like, there's all this Gen X slang, or not Gen X, fucking shit. Woo,
Yeah.
Gen Z or whatever. What's the young generation now? Is it Gen Z? Gen Alpha?
Gen Alpha is the youngest now.
But like, it's like I wonder if there's stuff that's specific to the region of England, like that nobody says anywhere else.
I'll give it some thought. I'll see if I can put something together. But yeah, honestly, things are so international now with TikTok that I think everything bleeds into everything. I think it's just you just say things with a different accent.
I just want it to happen the other way around, where all of a sudden everyone over here is using Cockney rhyming slang all the time.
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
That'd be funny, wouldn't it? Just like randomly in Texas, someone comes up to you and says, "All right, governor," here's you with a full-on solo polo vision. What's that?
Yeah, why is the Mighty Boosh not super popular?
Inside you, finding an entrance where they can, crawling through your mind, through your belly, through your anus, eels. Sorry, I got carried away there. Elements of the past and the future combining to make something not quite as good as either. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody go watch the Mighty Boosh. And then
don't do it so back.
Do it however you want.
Yeah, do it however you want. Yeah.
Anyway, I still love. I'm sure maybe I probably haven't brought this up since the last time we talked about Mighty Boosh, which may have been years ago. But one of my favorite things from Mighty Boosh is not even from an episode; it's from the first live show they put out, where it's like the little mini play they do, the pies. Would you like a pie? No. Well, this is a good pie. Nevertheless, the last time you gave me pie, I cut into it with my tiny pie cutter, and a bunch of birds flew out. It was a trick pie. Why you don't like my pie? I just told you. Anyway.
One of my favorite jokes that me and my fiance do. If we try to remind each other to do something, we'll say like, "And if you don't, I'll chop your foot off." Like follow.
Yeah.
It's like, "If you don't vacuum the floor tomorrow, Eddie, I'll chop your foot off." Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
That would be. We should you know what? We could work it into this show by doing a ranking of the Mighty Boosh songs.
We could. We totally could.
But then it's like, well, do you include all the crimping as well?
Isolation.
Yeah.
I love that bit from
Ice
that
flow,
episode.
nowhere to go, lost in the blinding whiteness of the tundra.
What's that bit where it's the Milky Joe episode where they're stranded? It's the isolation one.
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh my god, it's a boat! We're saved!" And he just grabs it off the wall. And he just goes, "Nah, it's just really small."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it's a great one. Anyway.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah.
You were talking about corn.
Corn, yes. It's an excellent vegetable. Goes great with butter.
This is corn with a K.
So
and next we're going to talk to ketchup with a C.
I forgot it was opposite day.
Yeah. Yeah.
This album is where the nebulous thing that was this like offshoot of alternative metal becomes new metal in the mainstream. Bada boom, bada bing. Metal bands are now wearing tracksuits, which nobody ever thought would happen until it did.
Everybody's braiding their beards and looking sideways into the camera and wearing their guitars
playing the
real
bass
low.
like this.
Yeah,
turning their head every time they change a note on the bass.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're so weird.
Anyway, yeah. That's pretty much. I'm just going to go around in circles saying that Korn were fucking killing it at this point. So, back to you with the weather.
Awesome. My number. What is it? Am I number 5 now? Is it 5?
4. Wait.
5.
Hold up. Wait.
4.
I did
4.
I did my 5. Then you did your 5. My 4 was your 5. So you're on 4.
I'm on 4. My number 4 is End Hits from Fugazi.
Nice.
Every Fugazi album is amazing in different ways. This one actually probably was the biggest grower for me from Fugazi. I didn't love it at first, but it ended up becoming one that I very much love. And now it's just one of those albums that I look at the fucking track list and I'm like, how did I ever not like this? This has got like
that's
all
how I
sorts
felt about Yield. That's the same.
Yeah, not to mention it has our Arpeggiator, which I always really enjoyed because they literally wrote an entire song just strumming the open notes of a standard tuned guitar. So the song is like ding 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 ding, and then like, man, that's one of those things where I'm like, how did they come up with that, and why are they so awesome? Anyway, Fugazi is amazing. We talked about Fugazi years ago.
That's a potential revisit for me because I am still woefully behind on Fugazi.
They're one of my favorite bands ever, and this is just one of those albums that I guess the further you get away, once a band breaks up and they're truly like a band that's like probably not going to do anything together anymore, you start looking at these albums and going, we actually probably should have loved this a lot more when it came out. This is an amazing album, and it's Fugazi is just one of those bands that like everything they've done is so cool in different ways, and I feel I have now gotten to the point where like I can't. My discussion with you about Fugazi is going to end if the first thing you say is waiting room. Like that's, I'm going to be like, all right, well, clearly you don't have much to say about Fugazi. I'm going to move on. Because that's not even in my top 10 of Fugazi songs. That's probably not even in my top 20 of Fugazi songs. Things become popular. There's a fucking song that is a throwaway song from Fugazi that is the most streamed song in their catalog and has become part of like memes on TikTok or something. It's called I'm So Tired. But it's like, it's not even a real, like, as far as I know, they were just fucking around in the studio when they did that song. And people are like, that's my favorite Fugazi song. And I just want to be like, look, just stop talking. Okay, just do not talk to me. Not that there's anything wrong with that song.
I was going to say, on the flip side of that, though, you never know what magic you are cooking up in the studio when you're making it, you know?
Sure.
They
literally, it wasn't even on an album. It was on the soundtrack to their documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like
weird how stuff that happens.
Yeah. And honestly, that's not the last time that I'm going to mention TikTok, because there's another band I'm talking about that I've noticed get a very big boom on TikTok. And maybe it's just the side of TikTok that I'm on. I don't know how it works, because I don't really get people dancing to pop songs on my TikTok. I do get a whole lot of those things where it's like, will this ball escape this circle in 30 seconds? I get shitloads of those.
And I tell you what, it's entirely dependent on the sound that it makes when it escapes, whether I stay or not.
Because I don't like the one that goes, yeah. I don't like that sound. Whatever that is, I don't like that.
See, that one gets a little chuckle out of me. I like the ones, though, where it's like, ah!
Oh, yep, there's that one?
I like that one.
And then some of them go, Baba Booey.
The Baba Booey. You know I'm staying for a Baba Booey. Baba Booey.
Anyway.
Baba Booey.
Yeah. So like so I'm glad that we get the same videos, because I watch a lot of those, because sometimes they're very soothing to me.
Yeah.
Especially the ones where it's like it's almost like a rainbow, and it's like it's almost like it feels like a universe of like things unfolding.
Mm-hmm. Is that the ones that go like
probably, yeah. And then the ball kind of just goes around, and sometimes it makes it through, and sometimes it only does a few of them. Just
imagine how quickly we'd have been diagnosed if that existed when
we
were children.
My wife just shared with me this amazing page where this guy does silicone, coloring silicone.
Yeah.
And he feeds the silicone into this machine, and then he puts color in, and he keeps redoing it. And you watch the silicone take on the color, and sometimes he puts multiple colors, and it starts taking on the color as it reloads.
Need to send that to
I will.
me
It's
ASAP.
fucking great. It's great. Because it gets
I
to a
love something
point.
satisfying.
There's always a point where like he feeds it through a bunch of times, and then he's like cutting it, but then he folds it and feeds it through again, and then all of a sudden this like swirl starts happening. I'm just like, well, this is amazing. Anyway, Cranked and On the Spectrum is the name of this podcast.
Spectrum
Anyway.
and rectum.
You're I think we're on number 3 now.
Yes. Or number 2. Yeah.
Cheese.
Anyway. I fucking love that thing. That thing is one of the best investments you've ever made. Oh.
Cheese. Nice.
Well, what if we do them kind of at the same time?
Cheese. Nice.
Oh, awesome.
Anyway.
Oh, well. Okay, here we go. What the fuck? Hang on, bear with. I'm trying to get it up.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. My number 3.
Number 3
is from a little band called Kiss.
Oh yeah.
And it is Psycho Circus. Hit me
not-
with a Paul Stanley.
Did not
The
make my
alcohol
top 10, but let's do this one.
Every once in a while, we like to get a little wasted. We like to take a taste of alcohol. We got any people tonight that are high?
Oh
That's
man.
fantastic.
Yeah, this was in the running for my top 10 and then got nudged out.
So, yeah, this was when we first did our Kiss ranking. I ranked it pretty low. In actual fact, it may have been the bottom spot. And something happened in my Kiss journey where this one climbed up a little bit.
It's a fun album and it's got some bangers on it.
It is a fun album, and even if there are like weird band politics behind the scenes,
Well, yeah.
where the advertised lineup is actually only on like 1 or 2 songs fully.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the songs are great, the energy's fun, it doesn't outstay its welcome, and it's a welcome addition to the Kiss catalog. There's, a couple dud songs here or there, but overall, it's a pretty fucking damn good album.
Honestly, like that period, I've become kind of nostalgic for that period now because, like,
Yeah.
that was the reunion. And they did,
Yeah.
like, the tours as the reunited band. And I remember it being such a fucking big deal. And then,
Yeah.
although, like, I do enjoy the albums that they did after this, it doesn't, it's not the same for me.
Yeah, this really does feel like, when the song Psycho Circus comes on, it feels like a victory lap.
Yeah.
This is like, hey, we killed it in 2 decades in 2 genres as Kiss.
Yeah.
What are you gonna fucking do about it?
And I love that. I pledge allegiance to the state of rock and roll. That's a fun song.
Yeah, and any song that has Ace Frehley on it as
Into
well.
the Void.
Into the Void.
Amazing.
You wanted the best. I mean, that's got everyone on it at some point. I love that. That's good fun.
Yep.
And it's just great. I had a great time listening to this. Every time I listened to it.
Oh, okay, Sonny.
I like Carnival of Souls. I do too.
Yeah, me too.
But yeah, Psycho Circus. This is an album where if you're a Kiss fan and you've neglected this album, go back and listen to it because it's actually really, really good.
Yep.
And it's weird for me to say that I existed before a Kiss album. With how few albums they put out following my
you,
birth.
you existed before 3 Kiss albums.
Yeah. Just a few months difference. That could have been a much different story.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, it's a cool album. I like it a lot. And I've gone on to become a massive Kiss fan. Kiss infiltrated my top 10 bands very quickly.
Nice. I love Kiss.
I would say, like, pretty confidently, I've got a confident top 5, followed by 6, which is Toto. I would say Kiss is probably my 7th favorite band.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Right, yep. Pretty much everything I have to say about Psycho Circus by Kiss. Handing it back over to you, my friend.
Okay, my number 3. I love this album. The album In Casino Out by At the Drive-In.
Cool.
Fun fact, produced by Alex Newport from Fudge Tunnel.
I was unaware of that.
Hold on.
I was not aware of that.
Hey!
And this was like after I got introduced to At the Drive-In, this was their new album, which I may have told the story before, and I know that I have somewhere, that I got introduced to At the Drive-In because my band went to go play a show in Temple, Texas at a park on a tennis court. And it just so happened that and we were booked with a bunch of other bands, but I think all of them dropped out because there was like a tornado warning or some shit. And we got there. My band at the time, we were called Penfold. Not that Penfold, if you're an emo fan. We didn't know there was another band called Penfold. But we got there, we dropped off our gear, and then we were waiting for people to show up, and so we just went, we're going to go grab a bite to eat. And it ended up taking us a bit too long to get back from getting a bite to eat. And we got back, and there was this band of dudes already setting up their gear, and it was At the Drive-In. And we're like, hey, like, we're supposed to play first, like, you guys, and they're like, nah, don't worry about it. We're just going to go ahead and play, and then you guys can play after us. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, whatever, not knowing who this band was, and that has to be the most embarrassing show I've ever fucking played, because playing after At the Drive-In, like the best way I can describe it is that I didn't know anything about their music, but at that point there was probably about, I don't know, 30, 40 kids there, maybe. I say kids, but all around our ages. We're all surrounding this band, getting ready for them to play. And as it was, you would go see a band play, and you get real close. Everybody's real close, but literally they start playing, and within like 2 seconds, the whole crowd has to take like about 10 steps back from them. And it was one of the coolest performances, and it was on a tennis court, like just
wow,
mic'd up on a tennis court. And then my band, which was like a shitty skate punk band, after them. They were very nice. They bought a tape from us. But I immediately was a fan of At the Drive-In, and very shortly after that was when In Casino Out came out. And it's an amazing album. Every At the Drive-In album is amazing, which I guess technically there's really only 3 full-length albums, and there's like 2 EPs. But, there's 4, because they got back together and recorded another album that I thought was okay. But this one is my favorite. My favorite At the Drive-In album. It sounds amazing. It's that kind of production that just sounds like you're in a room with the band.
Yeah.
And, yeah. They would end up becoming more popular with their next album because it would be technically major label, and then they would break up. But anyway, In Casino Out is fucking amazing, and it always just brings me back to the memories of seeing them. Not only seeing them on tennis court, I saw them 2 or 3 times after that. And just every single time, like, they literally just mopped the floor with whatever band was playing with them. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who it was. Anyway, so that's my number 3, In Casino Out by, what's that band? At the Drive-In.
Awesome. So, I have an interesting number 1.
Okay.
But I also have, a surprising number 2.
Interesting, okay.
It's one hell of a sentence. Surprising number 2.
Yep.
Had several of those in my life. Anyway, so my number 2 is Garage Inc. by Metallica.
Okay, not on my list.
Fair play. I get it. It is technically a covers album.
But but also, like, I even considered it, and I'm just like, compared to these other ones, it doesn't make the cut for me.
Well, for me, not to slag off disc 1, which was the Load era kind of covers that they did, and credit to them, they kept it varied. I mean, you got Free Speech for the Dumb, which is a Discharge cover. It's Electric, which is Diamond Head. Sabracadabra, Black Sabbath. Turn the Page, Bob Seger. Die Die, My Darling, Misfits. Loverman, Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Merciful Fate, which is a medley of a bunch of Merciful Fate songs from the early 80s. Astronomy, Blue Oyster Cult. Whiskey in the Jar, which is, going off of Thin Lizzy's version of it.
Yeah.
Tuesday's Gone, Lynyrd Skynyrd cover. And finally, The More I See, which is Discharge. It's a really cool album, but the stuff that I was glued to getting into Metallica was the second disc, which is bunch of 80s and 90s stuff, with the whole, you've got the Garage Days revisited on there, you've got the Creeping Death B-sides, you got the one-off B-sides as well.
Yeah, that when it came out, the big thing for me was that I could have the Prince on a release, because that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Helpless, The Small Hours, The Wait may be my favorite song on this album. I just always love that.
It's great.
Like that. That's a great version of that song. It's also cool to hear Metallica playing in a major key with Last Caress. I always love that cover, and I know it's brief, but god damn, dude, it's just. I remember that was my first taste of, maybe I need to get into punk next. That was my initial thing of, man, I like when stuff's in a major key but still really heavy and energetic.
The fucking Garage Days revisited was like the reason I started listening to the Misfits. So, and a lot of other people too, because they weren't like super well known as it may seem like they were not.
Yeah. For sure. I love this, but the second disc has always been my favorite of the two, and it's kind of a compilation of older stuff.
Yeah.
But I do love that first disc as well, and I will say, like, Bob Rock is on fire during this era, getting a great sound out of them. My favorite sounding Metallica album is probably, it's a toss-up between Ride the Lightning or the Black Album. And probably the Black Album wins out on production for me.
You know what? I would probably I would say it's probably Load for me.
Yeah, Load. If we're talking like actual audio fidelity,
like
Load is unfuckwithable.
I love how the Black Album sounds, and obviously, like, Ride the Lightning is my favorite album of all time, so I like that sound as well. But there's something real pleasing about the heft of how Load sounds. Like
Load balanced weight and clarity in a way that few albums have.
Yeah,
and it's great. It's good stuff, and the same applies here. It's just great sounding covers of Metallica doing their take on some classic and some deep cuts. I love it, but it is not my number one because I have a very personal number one that I doubt any of our listeners might have heard. Someone might have.
Interesting. Okay. So because there's another kind of big one from '98 that is also not on my list, but I'm assuming it's not going to be on yours either. Which is Anthrax.
Nice. Actually, that was one of my contenders for 10.
Yeah, didn't make my top 10. So that's I'll mention it because it's Anthrax and I love Anthrax, but that did not make my top 10.
Yup, a cup of Joe. Sorry, I just had to get that out of my system.
My number 2 is "Downward is Heavenward" by Hum.
That is a Blue album. Blue albums are always good.
It is good. I'm pretty sure that I put this on our short list of bands to talk about with Hum.
Yes.
Because I think that you would very much enjoy this. And they only did 4 albums. They may do another one. I don't know. But this is their third. And Hum is one of those bands that, like, they have 2 albums in particular that I don't know which one I would consider their best. Like, that's how good they both are. And this is one of them. Just like just heavy, almost to the point of being metal-ish, but way too like shoegazy and melodic to actually be considered metal. That's why one of the big reasons I want to talk about this band is because I want to get your take, because they're heavy, but they're on an alternative side of things. They're not on the metal side of things, but there's a certain big guitar sound to them that other alternative bands weren't doing that style.
I love a band that is heavy, isn't ashamed to be heavy, but doesn't go the cliche route.
No, because vocally speaking, there's nothing. He's an alternative singer. There's no.
Love that stuff.
He's got his own style going, but there's elements of like indie rock and like shoegaze type stuff. Very like it's like the combination of like heavy and atmospheric at the same time, but still has a lot of groove. But this album's amazing. I don't know which one. That's the thing. When we rank these, I don't know which one is my favorite. It's good. Takes a lot of thought here because like so many great songs on here. Anyway, but this is another band that all over TikTok people are now into Hum, and I'm just like, oh, how the fuck did that happen? But however it happened, I'm like, cool. They absolutely deserve it because now they've done reunion shows. And they're playing to like tons of people. And I'm just like, well, that should have been the deal back in the day too. But they weren't super successful. But they're an amazing band. And this is an amazing album. And we'll find out whenever we get to ranking them if this one is my number 1 or not. I don't know. But yeah, Downward is Heavenward is the name of the album. And it is fucking great. But not my number 1. What is your number 1?
Okay, so my number 1 is it's very personal to me. And it's so personal that it is a member of my family who...
Holy shit.
Yeah. So I present you with the EP Monitor by Undertow.
Did you send me this before? Like
I've sent you this EP.
Yeah.
This right here. If you were into heavy music in the late 90s and were in the Southwest, specifically Cornwall, there was a band called Undertow, and my uncle, who I've mentioned countless times on here, played a huge part in getting me into heavy music, is the front man of this band, or rather was, because the band is no longer. Well, I've met the drummer. I've run into the other guitarist. I have VHS tapes over there on that shelf of performances they did in the late 90s, and this right here is an interesting snapshot of a band hearing stuff that they liked from, grunge, and the incoming new metal stuff. And it's this really interesting middle ground. And my claim to fame on this is that there's a really spooky intro on the second track called Burned, which contains audio of a baby toy that belongs to me.
Oh, nice.
And
that's not you on the cover?
No, well, here's the thing. I have to wonder if me being in the womb played any part in that. I have yet to confirm, but I mean the songs on here, like Monitor L, I mean that's in the Rusty Cage tuning, and that's got like a really heavy riff to it. Burned 10 times, Falling Tree. I actually learned Falling Tree on guitar and used to jam it with my friend who lived up the road. Drift Part 2 and the song Mouthwash. But there's a really funny song like buried at the end of this thing, where so my uncle Justin, he doesn't even remember what the lyrics are, but it's like a minute long and it's just the fastest hardcore punky thing. But like the hook was da digga da, stale da digga da, Big Bird Muppet da digga da. I don't know exactly what it was, but yes, essentially what it is it's just the most personal thing, tangible thing to me I have of I remember he essentially said, look, there's a whole box of those EPs up in the attic. We'll go up there one day, we'll get you one down, and you can rip it to your iPod. And the amount of times as like a young teenager, I just listened to that album and jammed along to it until I knew it note for note on the old drum kit over here. Actually, it was an older drum kit that was significantly smaller than the utter beast you see behind you right now. But like there are few things, there's nothing in this world in terms of like a release that is this personal to me and lined up with my tastes as much as it did. And to know that I'm so immediately related to someone that wrote stuff as cool as this was a huge motivator for me becoming who I am today. So essentially that right there, I might, I'm going to ask his permission, of course, but I have debated just uploading this to the channel. I would
say, it should be that way. You can at least have some way for everyone to hear it, because at this point that you'd have to burn them a copy.
What I'll do is I'll ask and I'll make sure it's cool with everybody. I have considered several times of just uploading it straight to the thing.
Nice. I like that. That's a little bit, it's something different for our rankings. I like that.
It's kind of a grand finale for the 90s for me. I can actually, say this came out the year I was born. It's got a in utero baby. This worked out really good, actually.
Yeah, I agree.
Really happy with it. This has been 6 years in the making.
Nice. So my number one is there literally was no, once we were doing 98, this was already number one. Like there's no other album that would have been number one from this year. This was an album that came out and completely floored me when I heard it. Sitting with a friend of mine, stoned off our asses probably at his apartment, and in the middle of the night, the music video for one of these songs came on, and I remember saying nothing to my friend until it ended, and I went, well, I guess I'm going to go to the record store tomorrow. And then I bought this album, which is The Shape of Punk to Come by Refused. And this was like, sometimes albums come out and they are the only thing I want to listen to for like months. Like this was, I did, at that time, just driving around a lot, because that's what you did. I listened to this album so much. And at the time it was like, because like heavy music wasn't cool with like a lot of people that I knew. And this isn't metal, but once again, it's on the post-hardcore side of things. But even the post-hardcore bands, a lot of those bands were starting to get kind of boring and samey. And Refuse came out with this album that took all these different elements and put them together in this album that even listening to it now, like, it's almost exhausting to think of like everything that they did to put this together. Cause like there's so many little things throughout the album. It's like them writing fantastic songs, but then going into the studio and crafting this album where, like, literally the from what they've said, this was what broke them up initially as a band, was doing this album. And you hear it, and it makes absolute sense why this was an ordeal, because it is absolutely perfect. But then the cool thing about this album is that it ended up having another life, because I knew a few people that liked this album. Most people did not talk about this album when it came out. I did not hear this album referenced anywhere. I don't even know how many times the video was played on MTV, because I think it was just played like in the middle of the night or some shit. But it was years, and then all of a sudden I had heard people talking about this album. I'm like, that Refused album? Like, people finally like that? And so it made me happy, because I'm all like, once again, a band that this album deserved to come out and overtake everything in the fucking world, and did not. But I love it. I love every second of this album. It's just like, the guitar parts are amazing. Like, the drumming is amazing. The production is amazing. Like, literally every single aspect of this album is perfect. And we did an entire episode, I think we did, on Summon Bonham. I sent this album to Smurl. And so if you want to hear me talk a lot about this album, go check out that episode. That may have been the one when he sent me Spiritualized, and I sent him Refused. I think that might have been the first music one we did. I don't know. Anyway, absolutely amazing album. And then, later on you would hear, like, Anthrax would do a cover of New Noise on worship music. It's like a hidden track or some shit. Their version isn't very good. The version on here, absolute classic. But anyway, like a lot of bands, they broke up, then they got back together, and they did 2 more albums, which are also really good. This is a band to put on the list also to do, because like there's a total of 5 full-length albums. I think it's just 5. But this album is just beyond fucking good. So
if anything, the thing that my ears are clawing for right now is punk. Anything punk. I want to get into punk more.
Well, this is using the word punk liberally.
Anything. Well. Here's the thing, right? Anything in that vein.
Yeah.
You know, I've been very, like, the punkest thing I've done a full deep dive on really is grunge, hardcore to an extent with certain bands.
Yeah.
But I'm really crying out for stuff that's rougher around the edges these days, you know. Metal, for as hard and heavy as it is still usually pretty polished in terms of delivery compared to punk, you know. Metal bands, they want to be tough, but they want to look good while they're doing it, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas punk doesn't give a fuck, you know.
Yeah.
It cares about stuff it considers important rather than the presentation, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, maybe. I mean, I know Refused is probably on our long list, but I mean, I don't know. We might want to move them up, just because now that I'm thinking about it, this might connect with you. And once again, they do go through kind of like, they start off and they're more like straightforward hardcore, and it's not, their first album's not great, but then they make a massive leap to their second album, and then they put out this fucking masterpiece. It's one of those albums that, though, I feel like this album is hyped up a lot now, but I think that it absolutely earned it. It 100% earned everything, because it's just so amazing. Anyway, that's my number 1. Refused, Shape of Punk to Come, and
Nice.
Awesome. Also, at some point in the next week or so, is there any possibility we can do a cranked and ranked Summon Bonum crossover? Can we do a three-way? Can we have a three-way with Smurl?
Yeah, we just have to figure out like what it's going to be.
Dude, every time I watch Summon Bonum, I'm just overwhelmed with joy when I'm watching that. I love it. I love watching that. It's become, like, no exaggeration, my favorite thing to see.
Oh, nice!
It's like,
I'm glad
that's
you
my
like
friend with another cool guy that I like. You know,
we've been talking about it, but I try to think of like what a good thing that we could do is. I keep going back and forth. I'm like, I wonder if like we should let Smurl suggest a band and we rank a band that he suggests. But if we do that, I think he's going to suggest Annie DeFranco, and it's going to be a mess. I'll run it by him because he's been wanting to come on the show. It's just that the kind of thing where I'm like, well, I want to like have something to do. Like, what are we going to do?
Yeah. I wonder, would it be easier to do a Summon Bonum? I'm still figuring out how to say that.
You're not wrong. That might actually be the way to tackle it.
Would it be easier for me to appear on that show than to do a Cranked and Ranked with Smurl? Because Cranked and Ranked, we've only ever done it as me and you.
Yeah.
And we can talk for like 3 hours, whereas if we're talking with another guy in the mix, we could be here for like 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me brainstorm.
Okay.
If you have any ideas, like let me know. But like, I just want to like come up with. You might be right though. Having you on Summon Bonum, might be the thing to do. We would just have to figure out like, well, what is it? What is this going to be? What are we going to talk about? So, I'll message Smurl, or Smurl's probably going to see this too.
It could be cool if we do it, like, you guys show each other albums. It could be cool if we all bring an album to the mix and we all discuss it, almost like a book club kind of setup where we're just discussing each album. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Okay.
So stay tuned. Eventually that'll happen on the old head side of the internet. As for now, we're done with 1998. As I said before, put your top 10 of 1998 down in the comments or send it to me at oldheadpodcast@gmail.com. Because there are great albums from that year that got left out of my top 10. Because that's just how it happens. But and then next week, what are we even doing next week? What is next week?
Let's have a look.
What is next week?
What is next week?
Do you wear wigs? Have you seen that interview with the fake interview with what is it?
Yeah. Oh, it's is it Elijah Wood?
Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
When will you wear wigs? Elijah Wood and that other guy. He was in. I think he was also in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I don't know. All I remember from that is, do you wear wigs?
Yeah. Will you wear wigs? Maybe. When will you wear wigs? Let's see. The schedule for next week is telling us that we are doing some death metal.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, did you saw that thing I sent you earlier?
I did. The bottles?
Yeah, so there's a couple of bottles of like different flavored coffee syrup.
Yeah.
That we have on top of our coffee machine, but our washing machine was making them collide, in a blast beat esque rhythm of ting 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 ting. I just walked over to it and started growling over it and doing like little riffs.
The number of things that you send me that are funny enough that you should just be posting them on the internet, I'm just like, why is that not out on the TikToks?
I've considered putting it in there, but I was also in my underpants when I took that video, so I'm just like...
You can't see you in it.
Yeah, I've been looking in the reflections of everything just to make sure...
People are going to hear it in your voice that you're not wearing pants.
Yeah.
Anyway, so so next week we're going to be knocking off another big death metal band of the early 90s.
Big death metal band.
Yeah, because, I mean, you can probably do the math, because we've already done Cannibal Corpse, we've already done Obituary, we've already done Morbid Angel.
It's almost like
if there was a fourth.
It would be a side of the day kind.
It's deicide.
It's deicide.
And so join us for that, for where we get all satanic up in this bitch.
Yeah.
I'm even going to burn an upside down cross into my forehead for the episode.
I'm going to carve a pentagram into my chest with a dagger.
Yeah, so stay tuned for
Live
next
on
time
air.
for that. Yeah. We're going to have medics standing by. So we're gonna do some more death metal next time. So please join us for that. As usual, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening to the Peanut Butter Platypuses, the Aluminium Squirrels, the Belvedere Ball Setters, the Christmas Dogs, and the
Almost missed that one.
Syrupenises. We love you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. You guys are awesome. Your guys, I'm done talking. Now I'm going to throw it over to Eddie Sparxx to take us out.
Later, dude.
Nice.
I love that thing.